don't know if either Peters or Tester are online. If not, we're going to go to Senator Scott.
Good. Anybody's on? Okay. Chair Cantwell, I want to thank you for hosting this important hearing today. I've been called on the Secretary of Commerce to come testify since last fall. So I think I've been pretty disappointed that we haven't heard answers from the American people on President Biden's disastrous policies that have caused a severely crippling supply chain crisis, and it's really hurt people with inflation, which, as you know, hurts the poorest families. So 6 months of silence, I think, doesn't make sense. I don't understand why the Secretary of Commerce wouldn't want to come here and talk about this, but let's look at the numbers. The last time you testified was January of last year, I think it was. 16 months ago, inflation was 1.4%. Today, inflation has increased fivefold to 8.5%, a 40-year high, it doesn't appear to be any sign of slowing down or any plans for the Biden administration to fix anything, and I haven't seen any fixes. Every day, American families are seeing the crisis when they go buy anything they want to buy. In my state, families are worried about putting food on the table. One, the price of food. Two, get the food. Make sure they can get their pharmaceuticals, and make sure companies have the products they need to be able to survive in their business at a price that they can afford to sell. I've heard from business leaders all across my state about the impacts of the supply chain inflation is having on their business, and many businesses have had to close. So as Secretary of Commerce, you play a leading role in dealing with the supply chain and with inflation. As far as I can tell, I haven't seen a plan that's come out of the Commerce Department of how you're going to deal with this either supply chain crisis or the unbelievable inflation we're seeing now. So I think about when I was governor of Florida, we had hurricanes. You were the governor. When you have a problem, you have to get everybody together and you have to solve it. And I just haven't seen that out of the either Commerce or Homeland Security. There was a report in February that there was a supply chain report come out of Commerce and DHS, and it had a lot of things about spending more money. I've never seen that spending more money ever reduced inflation. So I guess here's my questions. What tangible action are you taking right now that's going to reduce inflation, which is caused by supply chain crisis? When will we start seeing a reduction in the inflation? And three, we've watched what's happened with Ukraine, with Russia, where Americans are saying we can't do business with Russia anymore. Is the Commerce Department ready to focus on decoupling from China when China invades Taiwan? But thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Senator, for your questions, and it's my pleasure to be here today, and of course I'm always available to you anytime. Look, we recognize that inflation is a challenge, and Americans are seeing it every day, and that's exactly why the President and our administration is doing everything we possibly can to do that. This administration clearly did not cause the inflation. The inflation was caused by incredible demand post-COVID, supply chain disruptions from COVID, and Putin's war exacerbating it all. And actually, if you look at Europe, they're seeing similar, if not higher inflation, but much slower economic growth. In this administration, our job growth is unprecedented. So to your point, what are we doing? What am I doing? I'm primarily focused on the chip crisis. You know, chips, semiconductor chips are in everything. And we are, I've used the Defense Production Act to do a survey of all data from over 150 chip companies. Our convenings with chip companies have led to partnerships. For example, Global Foundries has partnered with Ford and GM to reduce that problem. We've set up an early alert system so that if there's a semiconductor packaging factory that goes down in Malaysia, they can let the Commerce Department know. Commerce set that up and runs that. I stood up a supply chain task force, which has 20-plus leaders in industry. I mean, supply chains are run by the private sector. So what we're doing is increasing transparency to work with them. Yeah, go ahead.
When will inflation start going down?
Well, that would be a question for Chairman Powell. As you know, the Fed handles monetary policy and has the biggest tools around that. and he has indicated he's going to start to take action. So I think, soon, this year.
So government, you don't think government spending has anything to do with inflation? And permitting and regulatory environment has anything to do with inflation? It's all what the Federal Reserve does?
The Federal Reserve and its monetary policy by far has a bigger impact on inflation. Certainly, government spending has an effect on that, but the government spending that we are doing and that you participated in with the infrastructure bill, for example, is investment. It's productivity-enhancing investment, which I don't believe meaningfully increases inflation.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.